Hello everyone, and welcome back to Dungeons & Dragons: The Second Age. How are we all doing?
So excited
Excited?
for bad shit.
I'm scared.
Good.
Excited
Good,
to be
good.
scared.
Yeah.
Yes,
Do you reckon it'll be scarier than that horror one shot?
I should hope so.
It
I
wasn't
wouldn't
that
know.
bad.
Yes. So, would anyone care to remind me of the proceedings that led up to the state that you are in now?
Right, so we came back from the place where the young elven woman was kidnapped, and we escorted her back to town, and we talked to that elven guy who was probably like the guard captain or something.
A member of the guard, yes.
Yes. And we refused all rewards, causing Rob to probably have a minor fit on the inside. And then we fucked around for a day.
Yep.
And went back to the Druid Circle to find a whole bunch of centaurs, and they were just like, "Give us a dagger," and we were just like, "Oh, okay," and we gave them the dagger that he picked up from the warlock who kidnapped the elf. And Arya got a sick bow in return, but she has to give it back eventually
Yes.
Eventually.
because it's like a godlike weapon, and she's not supposed to have it. Or not supposed to have it for too long. So
It's not
then
just a
we-
godlike weapon, it is literally a weapon of the gods.
Yep.
Yes,
Literally a god's weapon.
Made by gods for gods.
and now Arya has it.
And
to kill gods.
I don't know if it's to kill gods, but
Gods fight other
No.
gods sometimes.
It's not
What?
designed to kill gods, no. It doesn't quite
Well,
have that much
anyway.
power.
Sad.
Anyway, we then talked to Lysatis again, and she was like, "Hey, I discovered a whole bunch of shit," and we essentially started contacting some people we would consider allies or friends to basically compose like an entire SWAT team to help us in the Underdark. Not Underdark,
Shadowfell.
in
No.
Shadowfell. I'm not sure why I said Underdark.
It's because you joined the wrong game earlier. It was on the mind.
There's no Underdark in Divinity. Anyway.
I wasn't talking about divinity.
Oh yeah, that's true. I almost joined the wrong game. Fuck. Anyway, I'm
Continue.
good at explaining things.
can't believe.
So our SWAT team consists of us four plus Lyra. What? Lyra is still not a humanoid.
Look,
That's 4 plus
much as
zero.
I
she is just a big a part of this
Oh,
party as
yes.
everyone else.
Okay, fine.
Fuck you.
Us five.
Thank you.
We pulled in Ilaran and Simone because they're the best. Except not actually really in terms of level.
No, they're actually the worst.
Still love them.
Lysatis is also accompanying us because she's basically our ticket in and out of the Shadowfell. And we have Professor Zale, who is that quirky professor we met like a year ago.
Yes.
Yep.
What a guy.
What a guy.
Nice.
And yeah, so we eventually, because Lysatis was gonna basically, she knew the place of the where the Conclave of Lost Souls was currently, and she basically led us to it, and we
Spelled
fought a whole
wrong in
bunch
my
of shit.
notes.
That's where we left off.
Yes, you did.
I'm surprised that I remembered the name of the Conclave of Lost Souls.
Yes.
Yep.
It's quite a long title.
Proud of you.
10 out of 10. I'd clap if I could clap while holding down a push to talk button.
So, I could take you back to where you were, actually. As I read a little intro for you guys. So,
Wait, we need some mood music, Rob.
you do.
I'm not immersed enough in the story for a story.
I immersion.
I immersed in
As you take a moment to gather your breath, the howls of the dark mastiffs and the battle cries of the vanquished ghosts fade from your ears. Tending to each other's wounds, you prepare yourselves for what is to come. Lysatis steps towards the ruined farm buildings, sensing the air very carefully before calling back to you all. In here, she says, gesturing towards the entrance to a dusty old house. We have a few moments to step through. After that, the gateway will weaken, and we'll lose our element of surprise. As you gather your things and prepare to enter the farmhouse, the wind shifts. A chill wind, with an almost choking thickness, like grave dust. Zale shivers, and Simone and Ilaran draw closer together, back to back against some unseen observer. Lysatis breaks the silence with an observation. This is our last chance to back down, she says, knowing full well that you have no intention of stopping here. You collectively shake your heads, and she indicates for you to step inside. As you pass the threshold, it's like walking into a spider's web. Dust and ash cling to your face, causing you to recoil, reflexively brushing aside the clammy mixture. As you do, though, you realize that you've stepped into a wholly different landscape. Instead of the inside of a run-down farmhouse, you've instead stepped into a crumbling ruin. The doorway behind you is all that remains of a building. Laid out before you is a dingy grey landscape that seems to suck out any colour and warmth from the surroundings. To your surprise, it seems you are not alone here. As you pull your travelling clothes tighter around yourselves, you become aware of several large tents, a number of groups of people huddled around small pale campfires. A few figures are using makeshift tools to hoe a patch of the ashen soil, and some others are attempting to construct a more permanent structure out of dead wood and jagged stone. Every figure here seems emaciated and ill, and as you look around the crowds, you see a variety of faces, from elves and dwarves to tieflings and men. It's almost as if you have stumbled into some sort of refugee camp. And your appearance seems to have drawn quite some attention. Whilst many of the groups shy away from you, trying not to make eye contact, others seem more curious, and keep their eyes fixed on you as you try to gather your bearings. You hear Lysatis' footsteps behind you come to a halt, and she begins to speak to you in a low whisper. So, this is the Conclave of Lost Souls. I admit, didn't know what to expect, but it certainly was not this. Oops, and yes. I don't actually have what this looks like because I couldn't find any art, but how do you begin?
I guess we used to sort of gonna ask, like, so are we in the Shadowfell yet, or?
Lysatis nods. She indicates the grey landscape around you and sort of says, this, for what it is it. A dark mirror of the material plane.
I guess first on our list is to get rid of the shards.
Oh yeah. Can I take the shards out? How do we know how to destroy them?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I
I
forgot.
need to dispel some magic, and then we need lots of radiant power.
Okay.
You pull the box that Zale provided you with, containing the 2 shards from your backpack.
I guess I just like put them on the ground.
Okay.
Should we step further away from here first, or?
Yeah, maybe like back up a bit.
Perhaps away from
Yeah, it seems like
our company.
your actions certainly seem to be sort of drawing attention from the people surrounding you. Many of them seem to be avoiding you, but some of them are just sort of watching.
Man, if we get some like zombie horde shit happening, I'm gonna be pissed.
These people don't seem to be zombies.
Well, that's comforting.
Let's get some distance.
So, you step backwards the way you came and step through the archway of the ruin. And as you turn around, you realize that actually this camp, or whatever it is really quite expansive. There must be almost a couple of hundred people here. They seem almost to have stepped right into the middle of it.
Can I talk to Lysatis and be like, who are these people? What are they doing here?
Lysatis sort of looks at you and says, I'm afraid I don't know.
Are there supposed to be people in the Shadowfell?
Lysatis sort of says, well, it is a plane much like any other. There are denizens, although many of them, it tends to be much as you would expect the folklore of the plane of death to be vampires and the undead, but these people seem normal. I must admit, my research into the Conclave of Lost Souls was little more than a cursory glance. It was a manifestation of the Shadowfell strong enough to spill over, but I was not expecting people.
Perhaps this is merely what, well, those who end up here look like. Perhaps it's just how souls appear.
Perhaps.
But why would souls get trapped here?
Usually some form of necromancy. A curse, perhaps, keeping them here. I would need to find out more to say for certain, but that is my instinct.
If they're trapped here, could we, I guess, free them?
I would need to know first the source of the curse. But it is possible. You notice that Lysatis sort of, like, as she says this, she's got a very sort of stern and concerned look on her face. Like, she is not comfortable with this as existing as a thing.
Yeah, I feel this is a task for another day.
True, we must focus on the task that is at hand.
We should probably get distance before we destroy the shards.
Okay. As you walk through this camp, everybody make me a perception check.
Standard.
Oh, Kelariis.
Look,
Okay.
I try, okay?
Okay. Arya and V, as you cross this thing, you're sort of taking in the people around you. And huddled around one campfire, you notice something that in this greyish landscape seems almost familiar.
What is it?
They have their backs to you, but there are 3 elven figures who, despite the tatter and dust wear, seem to be wearing Wild Hunt uniforms.
Okay. I don't really want to approach them. I'm not entirely sure what. Okay, there's a lot of dice rolling. I'm not entirely.
So I'm making perception checks for the rest of your party.
Okay.
You notice actually, as your sort of your gaze lingers on them for a little while, Simone follows your line of sight, sees them, and goes absolutely rigid.
Simone, what's wrong?
She mutters under her breath in Elvish. Yeah, and she says, she basically says, no, it can't be. And then she turns to you, Arya, because you seem to have seen them, points out, and she says, look. And as you look, one of the figures sort of turns to look over their shoulder, and you recognize it as a face that you've seen before.
Oh, good.
The face
no.
the face of a young woman.
Fuck! It's her! It's one of the girls who died in the Chimera attack.
Mela
Oh
Leone.
no.
Oh, I
Fuck.
fucking knew it.
Thought so.
Okay, well, that's
She
gonna.
hated us.
I don't think that matters at this point. I think the issue is she's here.
It's a
Can
face you recognize.
Can Arya look really upset at that revelation?
You can.
Have I seen her too and recognized her?
No, only Arya has seen it. Would you like to make me a despair check? And I'll tell you.
Oh,
I will
shit.
tell the audience about despair. You need to make me a charisma saving throw, by the way.
Oh, here we go. My
yes.
good-ass charisma.
We have some new mechanics here for Second Age.
Yep, there it
Oh.
is.
Despair.
Oh god, Arya.
Okay,
Why
would
is
you like to
despair?
increment your despair counter by 1?
Oh god, you've even added it for us.
Yes, it is in your stats.
Oh god.
Oh boy.
Where is it in our stats?
Should be on the
there
right-hand
it is.
side of your character sheet.
Yep.
I don't mean to imply anything, but if someone who was killed by the Chimera
Don't.
is here,
Yeah.
are other people who were killed by the Chimera also here?
That's why Arya's pretty disturbed right now. Just
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I know.
These are probably all victims of the
God.
Chimera.
Oh no.
Shit.
Purely speculation at this point.
Purely
Purely
speculation.
Wow.
There's no evidence to support that theory.
No.
Yeah, but pretty much everything about this plane
Yeah.
is entirely speculation.
So far, the only people who have noticed are Ilaran, Simone, and Arya that this is. Oh no, sorry. V would have as well because
Yeah.
you meet Mela's gaze.
Do we at least all notice them all suddenly stopping and being like, what the fuck?
Yes, you do.
Okay, I'm gonna be like, there's something wrong?
Well, you heard what Simone said in Elvish as well,
Okay.
so.
Oh. Do I see? Do I see her then, or do I not?
Well, V will probably say it's Mela.
Yeah, with that, it becomes immediately obvious the three figures sat around the campfire in Wild Hunt robes, or Wild Hunt gear. Simone seems to be frozen to the spot, but Ilaran is sort of debating whether to approach them.
V's probably gonna approach them.
Okay, and with that, he will follow your lead.
We're all going then.
Arya's gonna fall very hesitantly because she
Okay.
is not excited about all this.
I guess.
I'll keep pace with Arya.
Okay.
I think sort of hanging back with Satus and Zale. I think this is actually something Vondal might say, but he's going to possibly suggest that perhaps these people are all victims of Chimera that we encountered.
The Satus and Zale sort of look at you with a I have no idea what you're talking about look.
And I sort of like explain and this chimera we found and the relationship of the chimera to our target, so to speak.
Yeah. Okay. You brief them as you approach. Yes, as you get closer to this campfire, many small groups seem to sort of notice your focused attention, and they stand up and sort of like shy away from you and try to look busy or conceal themselves. But as you approach the fire, you see the tree figures, and they turn to face you, and there is as much recognition in their faces as you have to theirs.
Fuck,
As-
they're sentient.
You approach Sergeant Halar Silmis, Marshal Yevran Tallis, and Mela Leone.
Oh,
my
shit.
god. Does that mean we get the glorious accent again?
I don't know if it doesn't kill my voice.
Are we keeping this for close encounters?
Yes, they seem shocked and surprised to see all of you.
Fuck, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, what the fuck do you say?
The feeling is mutual.
Have you guys been here ever since the Chimera attack?
Marshal Tallis sort of stands up, tries to dust off his uniform. To no effect. The ethereal dust that coats this land seems to stick to everything it touches. And he says, "It is difficult to say. As far as I am aware, yes. What are all of you doing here?" You're not... He hesitates to say the word dead.
We traveled here of our own will. We wanted to find out, well, I suppose who is doing this. I mean, the Blight, the Chimera.
He sort of looks you up and down and for gesturing to the surroundings and says, "Well, you've come to the right place, if nothing else. You'd almost call this the legacy of the thing that you hunt."
So, is everyone here the victim of the same creature?
Not all of the same creature, but you certainly all seem to be under the same spell, from the same influence. He turns to another nearby small fire. And indicates a halfling man who is sort of sitting there, who seems to just be sort of drawing circles in the dust. And he says, take Myrian here, for example. The last thing he remembers is stopping at a tavern for the night, near a town called Renshire. Next thing he knows, he wakes up here. I'm afraid we're all lost souls. Unable to move on.
Have you learned anything about the person who is doing all of this? Do you know if he's here?
I'm afraid not, no. I know his servants have plagued these people in the past. They come occasionally in the small hours, cut off a handful of souls for no doubt some nefarious purpose, and then leave us to rebuild. We do our best to move around and keep out of their way, but they always find us in the end. Can all of you make a despair test for me, other than Arya, please?
Oh,
I'm already
okay.
there, guys. I'm
You're
already
already
despairing.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Okay.
What is the? Do we know what the what the cutoff point is for failing or succeeding?
No,
No.
Okay.
because
But I
it will
assume
be
Kelariis failed.
it will be different based on the trauma that you receive.
Okay.
Oh, that's fair.
Good.
But yes, Kelariis, you have failed.
Yeah.
Me and Vondal are holding up.
Yeah.
I think at this point, Vondal's probably going to speak up and say, we best move on, lest we lose our element of surprise too soon.
Marshal Tallis looks at you curiously.
We have only time till they figure out we're here. We need to be fast.
Lysatus... Oh, sorry, carry on.
No, go ahead.
So Lysatus sort of nods and says, yes, we should deal with the shards as soon as possible, but I feel like there is important things to be learned here. If these people have had contact with our mysterious individual, then they may know more about his plans than we do. And so Tallis sort of seems to agree with this, and he says, yes, many people have been here far longer than I have. Some of them ranging back hundreds of years. I'm sure you can find somebody who knows something.
He doesn't really know what to say, but I think she really wants to find out a way to help these souls move on from here. She's not really comfortable with the idea of souls getting trapped and not getting quote unquote recycled into the sort of cycle of Gaia.
Yes.
Gotta recycle, kids.
Yeah, you gotta recycle.
Yeah.
Reduce, reuse, and recycle, especially your souls.
Oh god.
I think what I was going to say, with any luck, the success of our task will lead to freedom from this plane, so to speak.
Give me a insight check, as there is a look exchanged between Silmus and Tallis.
I rolled a 7, guys.
That's a solid
Job.
7.
Jeez.
There's sort of a look that, whilst they're appreciative of what you're saying, they aren't holding out hope.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't mind them. If we hope to learn something while we are here, best do it fast. We should move on. I was gonna say, how are How's Simone and Iloran holding up throughout this exchange?
Give me an insight check as you sort of look around, because you notice actually, like, throughout this conversation, they're not actually with you.
Oh, that's better.
Okay. Yeah, you turn around and basically, Simone is maybe 50 feet away. And Iloran is sort of like, Iloran's got his arm sort of on her, like around her shoulders, and he's saying something to her in Elvish. It's too far away for you to hear or see what it is that he's saying. But she is just, like, total 1,000-yard stare. She failed her despair check with a natural 1.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Simone!
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I?
There's
should I
no,
approach?
this is not like death saving throws, right? Where you get 2 failures if you roll a 1.
No.
Okay.
It just affects how much you are affected by the actual event.
So, have you guys seen the Chimera since you've appeared here?
Silmus sort of shakes his head and says, "Fortunately not, no."
We're pretty sure we found out a way to eliminate those beasts now. The weird thing was that they could stitch their wounds back together by bleeding some sort of white fire. But with enough holy damage, they shouldn't regenerate anymore. So we hope to find at least some of these beasts so that we can eliminate them.
Again, there is a similar look exchanged between Silmus and Talus, but you almost don't need that to tell you what they're thinking, because Mela just throws back her arms and says, "Oh, good. It's a shame it's not too late." She glares at you.
What a bitch.
Sorry.
Stands up and just turns away from you and says, "Sorry isn't good enough."
Wow, God, we're doing
Just
our
walks
best.
away.
Ah.
I want to cry.
Crying is a free action.
Wow.
Wow.
What a fucking asshole.
Can we just turn blank as a free action into a running joke at this point?
Bingo.
Turn it into a bingo card.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Are you
Can
actually
I-
crying, me?
Hmm?
Are you actually crying?
No.
Okay.
She just wants to cry.
You mean me or V?
V.
Oh. Probably not.
Okay.
Just a little upset.
Yeah, meanwhile, can I sort of approach Simone and Iloran?
Yeah. They don't particularly seem to take stock of your approach.
I'm trying to think of what to say. I guess can I hear what Iloran's trying to say now that I'm close? Like once I get closer.
You probably catch the tail end of it. It's like something along the lines of, "There's nothing you could have done."
Okay.
God, good fucking. It's good that Simone
So-
didn't try to talk to Mela because she's a bitch.
Yeah.
True that.
Yeah, I now get the. I now understand what's. I now think I understand what the problem is. I think. I guess hearing that, Vondal, like, as Vondal approaches, he's just going to say, "We certainly did all we could that day."
Vondal's third wheeling, guys. Real hard.
And then I'm just going to be like,
Ilaran looks up and sort of offers you like sort of a weak half smile, but Simone just sort of like still has the 1,000-yard stare and just says, "When you're faced with a literal ghost of your past, it doesn't seem like enough."
God, guys, this is gonna be fucking awful.
"It really is. Fuck."
Great. What are you talking about?
Oh, nothing. Everything's fine over in Arya's mind.
Yeah.
I guess I'm also going to try and say, there's no use dwelling on the past now. We've done all we can in the past, and it's important now that we try and make up for failures now while we can. Whilst we cannot save everyone, there are still many we can save.
Simone doesn't really seem to give a reaction, but Ilaran just nods and says, "Perhaps it would be best if you went on without us for a little while."
I assume you will remain here.
Yes. I think we both just need a little time.
Don't split the party up.
I know!
No.
First rule of survival horror. Jesus.
Vondal's going to nod and just say, "I will see if I can convince the others." It seems that they may want to ask around camp anyway. And then I will sort of turn
You
back.
weren't planning on going terribly far, you just wanted to get
Yeah.
away from the crowds to do your
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. But yes, I suppose I was going to turn back to everybody else. Sort of tell them they want to be sort of left alone and say, if we're going to ask around camp once we're finished, then we can pick them up and carry on.
I talked a little bit to Mela, but she seemed kind of angry. There's not much we can do for these people anymore, except for, I guess, try to free them from this. But I think that will require us getting to Mela first.
Indeed. We have much to do, and not enough time to do it. We should push on.
And these people don't seem to have seen Nelor or any of his beasts around here too much, so I'm not sure if they have any information for us that we can use. I mean, I'm not even sure where we're headed after we restore the shards.
Well, we're headed for what would be Silverbrook.
Oh yeah. Do we know? Okay.
So we're assuming that's where he is residing.
Looking around, though, you feel directionless.
Yeah.
Nothing is quite the same here. You shoulder your burdens, and begin walking towards the edge of the camp. When you're distracted by a voice. It calls out to you from a short distance away, just behind you. And in a questioning tone, it asks, Arya?
Fuck! Fuck!
Oh
No,
I guess
no,
everyone's
no,
turning
no.
around all of a sudden.
I don't
Here we
want
fucking
this.
go, my
Oh, God.
dudes.
Everyone's turning around, I guess.
Ah!
Oh no.
I'm
Get
not
ready for
ready
another
for
despair
that.
This is
check.
gonna be good.
Oh
This is
god!
gonna be so good.
If you want to turn around, do you want to make me another despair check?
Yeah. No. No.
Oh no!
Okay.
That's a fail.
I need to roll on my table as you turn around and lock eyes with a face you once knew.
Ah!
I don't know what's more exciting, Luka's reaction to this, or the prospect of Arya's reaction to this.
Oh god.
Both, honestly.
I knew this was coming because Rob
I
messaged me this
know.
week and he was like, "Hey, get your feels ready," and I was like, "Oh shit."
God.
Oh no.
How many feels is there gonna be? This is the angst.
So many.
This is the angst-isode.
Okay.
Oh god.
Okay.
That's
So,
what we name this episode.
Arya, for the next 20 minutes, you basically find yourself unable to, well, you are unable to resist what anybody tells you to do that isn't obviously self-destructive.
Oh good.
So yeah, you're just incapable of saying no, basically. Like you just sort of go along with whatever is said.
Right.
So we're all turning around because someone's wondering if it's Arya.
Yes. Yeah, standing in front of those of you who don't know who this is a probably about the same height as Arya, young Eladrin man. He's very sort of like very sort of cleanly dressed, despite the long layers of dust that sort of cover his tattered clothing. And he wears armor not dissimilar to that of Arya's, though with less animal adornment to it. And you can make me an insight check as you observe this exchange.
You mean
why,
us?
Why? I would.
Everybody.
I would
Okay.
love to do that.
Yep.
Do I get advantage?
Yes, you would.
fuck's sake.
Yes.
That's a 2.
Oh!
Okay.
Oh shit.
Oh my
I
god.
have +6 insight. I rolled a 2. This is
I
bullshit.
understand.
Yes.
This is bullshit.
Oh god.
So, yeah, Vondal, you see this man. Kelariis, you see what is quite clearly like a look of recognition exchanged between the two of them. And V, I will whisper you what the extra thing that you notice.
Uh oh.
Oh dear.
Shit, guys, this is so
Shit,
real.
bro.
Oh god.
Probably
So-
Arya's feelings on top of all that.
Wait, so I guess okay. This is obviously out of character because we don't know shit about this, but
Yeah.
Is has he aged since he died?
No, but not that it would be distinguishable anyway, because they were both adult elves when it happened.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
I thought they were like 13, but
Nah, we were just young adults.
Young adults.
Yes.
The most
Yeah,
impulsive
he is.
of adults.
He looks like he hasn't got like sort of the hardened sort of look that Arya has. Like he's still very youthful in his appearance, but they look of a similar age.
Oh god. What's the owing about?
Nothing.
Oh, yeah, I think we might be able to find out.
That's only in his look.
Okay.
But yes, there is a stunned silence. It seems to stretch on forever. Nobody says anything.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck Arya would
Yeah.
say.
So is he.
What is it with this episode of people
Yeah.
just trying to figure out what to say?
Because
'Cause
it's an
it's-
emotional moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's emotional moment after emotional moment.
In fact, probably just to break the silence, he lapses into Sylvan. And he says, "What do you... I never thought I'd see you again." Arya says, there.
Arya is hyperventilating.
Yeah.
Probably.
Not having a good time.
He, in that case, he probably steps towards you and like holds out a hand towards you.
Oh fuck!
Luka's
too much.
dying.
Too much.
If you don't resist, he places a hand on the side of your face, and
Oh no.
you can feel it, but there's no warmth or substance to it.
Can I reach up and grab the hand on my face?
Yes. Again, no warmth, no substance. You come into contact with it. It's not. He's not in an incorporeal state, but it's not like touching somebody else. It's like there's a barrier between you. And in fact, actually, there's a theme for this.
I have my
Actually,
own
prepared.
theme.
Oh wow, that music name.
No.
Yes.
Wow, this is really sad, you guys.
It is very sad.
You
Then
tried to
say
make me
something!
cry. Stop trying to make me cry.
Can I just like, God, fuck, I don't know what to say. What do you say?
Crying is a free action.
Okay, I'm gonna fucking cry.
Okay. In a complete lapse of Arya begins to cry.
Oh my god. Vondal has never looked so surprised at anything in his life.
As Arya begins to cry, the hand on the side of the face very quickly becomes a somewhat awkward hug.
God.
I feel like that's going to be the most common phrase of this episode, just crying is a free action.
Crying is a free action. Just fucking sob it out, guys.
Oh god.
Can I just say, I didn't want to believe that it was true, that you would be here as well.
Yeah. He just sort of he looks at you, closes his eyes and sort of nods and says, "Yes."
Have you been here all this time?
There's a moment of hesitation, but he nods.
I'm so sorry. This is all my fault.
He tries to sort of grip you tighter, but he can't, and he says, "No, it isn't."
It is my fault. If we hadn't done what we had done,
Hey,
you'd still be alive.
he holds up your chin and makes you look him in the eyes. And he says, "We both decided to go. This is not your fault." Don't blame yourself.
How can I not when you're trapped in here, in this... whatever this is? I'm still alive. I should be here with you.
He shakes his head and says, "No. I have come to terms with what happened. I've had more than enough time to think about it. There is one thing that kept me sane all this time is knowing that you weren't here.
I've been trying to find that thing ever since. I figured if I couldn't kill it, then I'd end up here anyway.
He nods and says, "I know. I've seen it. And I've seen the one who commands it.
We're here to kill him. We're here to kill that thing, too."
He nods
Where
and
is he?
says, "I suspect as much. You know, he came to me in a vision. Asked me questions about you. I told him nothing. He was angry.
Oh,
Whatever you've been doing, it's been the right thing."
If you've been tortured for it, I don't know how to feel.
He shakes his head and says, "It is easy enough for me to hide in the Conclave. He can send as many servants as he likes, but I have not forgotten what we were taught. Know how to hide."
Where are they? Do you know how to get to them?
He nods and says, I think so. He, well, has what I would suppose you would call a fortress. And I know how to get there, but it will be a dangerous journey. I can tell you of most of the dangers that I have faced, but, well, being dead does make the path slightly easier.
Arya's gonna visibly flinch at that. Well, we need to go there. We need to kill that thing. Maybe then all these souls can finally find their rest.
At this point, sort of, Lysatus, who's sort of been standing on the side watching this unfold, steps in and says, I believe you may well be right.
Wait, could she understand Sylvan?
Oh, sorry, no, you switched off Sylvan. Like, his first
did
sentence was in Sylvan.
Oh, okay.
I thought nobody.
Yeah, no,
knows
sorry,
except
no,
me.
you...
Right, we all heard that.
Yeah, you can all understand this conversation. It was just the first sentence. Sorry, my bad.
Right.
Of course, none of you have any context for it, so it means nothing. But yeah, Lysatus says, I believe you may be right. If If all of these souls are victims of our mysterious man, then it is more than likely that the easiest way to lift it would be to destroy him, both body and soul. And at this point, Alan looks up, suddenly realizes, like, oh wait, yeah, there's a whole bunch of other people here.
Like, oh yeah, she's not lying.
Looks at the Satis, and basically says, the first part of that may not be necessary.
Why not?
I do not believe he has a body.
Oh, great.
I think part of what traps him here on the Shadowfell, makes him weak, is the fact that without a mortal frame, he doesn't have the powers that he craves. He is weakened. I know he builds himself an army to serve his purposes, and presumably he has been seeking a way to create a new body for himself, but I do not believe he is any closer than when I first met him. But if you can destroy his spirit, then I don't even want to think about it. Perhaps we can be free.
I guess I haven't introduced him to these people, so whatever.
No, you haven't. They have literally no idea who this guy is.
Whatevs. Does Kelariis know? Because I told her about him.
Yeah, I
Is
didn't
she
get a
making that
name,
connection?
but I heard this kind of story.
Do you think Kelariis makes the connection? I guess you would.
I think so. I don't have a name, but I
Well, right.
probably
Yeah, okay, so
remember what-
you stitch a couple of things. You think, could this be... The more the conversation goes on, you begin to think that your theory may be correct.
Right.
Well, we'll do whatever we can to kill that thing. The world has turned into a very dark place, I'm afraid.
He stares at you for sort of like the longest time, just almost as if he still can't believe that he is standing here holding you. Well, if you can call it holding. Before he says, well, at least I know one bright light is still shining.
Holy shit.
Wow.
This kills the man.
Sorry, this is fan fiction now.
Oh, fanfiction is canon.
Nope. Totes
Holy
canon.
shit.
Will you lead us to this place?
He looks at you and looks around and says, guide, perhaps. Lead. I do not know. For me to travel with you would be dangerous. There are things out there that would seek to drain me of what I am, of my memories, of my spirit. I would not be able to defend myself, and I could not ask you to put that pressure on yourself a second time. I will give you everything I know. But for me to leave would be almost a death sentence.
I would not fail to defend you a second time, but I understand. I won't ask that of you.
It's not like you can say no right now. Lol.
That's true. I can't say fucking no.
He smiles.
I have missed your smile. Can I
out
reach?
loud?
That's out loud.
Yeah.
Can I reach in to my backpack and get my panpipes out?
Yeah.
And present them to him. Be like, I've carried these all these years to remind me of what I'm fighting for.
He seems lost for words for the longest time. And he says, "Do you still play?"
Sometimes. When the night is dark. Not for a long while.
Perhaps before you go, you could play for me again.
Oh god, this is too much.
Be strong, Luka.
I can't! I'm like 3 seconds away from crying.
We believe.
I would be honored to play. Can I do that, Rob?
As you're about to sort of lift the thing to your lips, Zale interjects and says, "As much as I hate to
Fuck
intercede
you,
on
Zale,
this,
you're ruining the moment.
Wow.
as much as I hate to interject on this clearly quite intimate moment, we have a task that needs completing. The sooner the better."
God. Joy kill.
I mean, he would do it. He would offer to do it without you, but you are holding the one thing he needs to
Yeah.
actually finish it.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a moment to yourselves if you give him the box.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll just hand over the shards then. I didn't realize that was an option.
Yes.
I thought he was just like, we need to go.
No, they can do it without you. It's just you have the box.
We're slowly
Okay.
losing party members already, guys. This is a disaster.
Believe.
Oh god.
Okay, so do the rest of you. So Zale sort of turns around and is like, "Shall we continue?"
It is probably for the best.
He nods and says, "I feel like our companions could use a little time, but does not stop us from fulfilling our duty."
I suppose it's not every day you see those you've lost. So close, but yet so far.
But in the end, doesn't
Don't
even
you
fucking
spoil
matter.
it.
Wow.
So yeah, you leave Arya and Alwyn. Find a small secluded place and open the box. As you open the box, give me Arcana checks, because things are not as you would expect them to be.
Oh boy.
I
Yeah, I
think
meant to
that's
ask this, like, oh my god, Kelariis, please. I meant to ask this a while ago, but does my magic actually work in this place?
Yeah, you don't feel the disconnect you felt in the demiplane. Like, this place is not warded against magic in the same way that the demiplane was.
Okay, well that's comforting.
Yeah,
If
better.
if you were skilled in necromancy, you would find necromancy magic easier to channel here. But that is the only difference.
Hmm.
Right, well, I'm on point with my
Yes.
my rolls today.
Vondal and Kelariis, you are confused momentarily as Zale opens this box and holds up two shards that seem to be almost glowing with daylight. V, you remember what Zale told you.
It's a window!
It's a window, and now it works the
Oh.
other way.
Ah, right.
Yep.
Mm.
Wow, so it's already daytime on the other side?
Mm.
And
Sure.
works differently here.
Yes, it does.
As it does in many of the other planes.
Hmm.
Fucking wibbly wobbly timey wimey bullshit.
Yes.
There's your obligatory Doctor Who reference.
But yes. In fact, you can see that doesn't look quite so terrifying in the daylight, the tumble down old ruined farmhouse and the surrounding copse of trees.
It's another reason to hurry up with our business. If we don't hurry up, we'll be months after. We'll come back to the world we know, but months later.
Hmm.
Yeah, Zale nods and says, "Quite." He turns to you, Vondal, and says, "Do you have dispelling magic prepared?"
I do. And I will cast Dispel Magic.
Before you do so, I would like you to make me a religion check with. We'll give you a modifier for it.
And watch as I still fail!
I believe.
Fucking called it!
Okay, wow.
Oh my god.
I'm supposed to be good at this!
What level do you cast it at?
Probably third.
Okay. I need to check something in the wording of Dispel Magic.
Can Torm hear you in this place?
Yeah, again, no difference in... Okay, why is the thing not searching?
Do you need Dispel Magic?
Yes, can you
That's
roll
Dispel
me the
Magic.
thing for Dispel Magic? Thank you.
Have Dispel Magic.
Okay, can you make me an ability check with your spellcasting ability? So...
Yeah, so the spell attack? What? Or just roll wisdom?
Yeah, wisdom with your... not with the spell attack, but... Yeah, just roll wisdom, I think.
Okay.
Okay. You cast Dispel Magic. Energy crackles across the surface of the shards, but it doesn't seem to be dispelled.
Fuck's sake.
Zale sort of crosses his arms and says, "Try again, with a little more power if you can."
Alright.
Can I assist in this at all? Probably not.
Not really, no.
Damn it.
I guess we're gonna have to blow 4th level. So I'll cast again.
Yeah.
4th level.
Okay. As you cast it at 4th level, I don't need to make you roll, I believe. No, I don't. Yeah, you notice as the spell, whatever enchantment seems almost to peel back from the center of the spell and be removed. At which point Lysatus turns to you, Kelariis, and says, "Now the honor is all yours."
Alright. Um, essentially just spite it, I think, right? Is what we decided on. So.
Yep. As much holy vengeance as you can channel.
Yep, I've got 1 second level spell slot left. Here we go. Probably send it.
Don't bother rolling me the physical damage of it, just roll me the radiant.
Okay. 3d8, right? Yeah.
Make it 4.
Okay.
Because theoretically this would be affected in the same way that a undead would be.
Okay.
Okay. Yep, that is more than enough. You bring down freedom on the 2 crystals as they are lying on this outcropping of rock. And as you channel your energy through the blade, you see the familiar flash of white energy that you're used to. And you feel a resistance, almost as if the shards themselves are trying to resist you. But you bring this sword down and you connect with it, and in a way that shouldn't have happened in the way you hit it, the crystals explode into thousands of tiny fragments. Make me a dexterity save.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my god.
Shrapnel.
Okay, yeah.
Backflip.
Backflip.
You take no damage as the shards plink off your scales.
Cool.
I was gonna say, but shield. Why do you do a backflip?
So I'm tough.
No, I just imagine
yes.
Kelariis just flexes and they just deflect off.
Well,
Roll muscle.
it was less the worry about the shards like sort of hitting your body because you're wearing armor, but it's more like flying up into your face. It was your reactions of like closing your eyes and turning your head away from it. But yes, you take nothing from it. And lying in front of you is a small scorch mark and a handful of tiny, like not even a millimeter long shards.
So, that's done.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and anyone who has despair, you can remove 1 despair.
Oh, shit.
Oh man,
Not you, because you're not here.
fuck.
Oh, no.
You just stay behind.
I want to get rid of. I have 2 despair already. Jesus.
And stop being so bad at your saves!
And I don't have
Wow,
any.
bitch.
I've got no despair.
I've got no despair either.
No
Well-
one here has despair. This is
Well, I
really
had-
Kelariis
good,
had
guys.
I had
For-
this
look,
one.
Fortunately
So
for you, Kelariis had one and Zale had one, so...
Alright.
My DC for those saves was probably so damn high.
Well, no, your
Well,
DC was the same as everybody else's, you just had to test twice and you have the lowest modifier.
Yep.
So there you go.
Well, actually, Simone has a lower one than you, and she just completely fluffed it.
So I suppose we should collect our companions.
But yes, artifacts... oh, it wasn't even in your inventories, but yes. Wraithglass Shard. Whoop. Delete. Yes, and if any Wraithglass is in any of your inventories, just delete it. It's destroyed.
Because Reese this time I'm gonna give like the 1,000-yard stare to like the remainders of the Wraith Shard.
Okay.
Not because of despair, but just
Because this is something you've been working towards for a long time. It's finally done.
Okay.
Which is why you get to remove a despair. But...
That felt good.
We should collect our companions. We need to move.
I agree.
Okay. And with that, I think we will take a short break.
Yeah, God.
I think some of us need it.
Huh?
Because there's more to come.
No!
Fuck you!
Bad.